Hi, everybody. This is Crypto Rich, working with you to get rich with crypto, filling our pockets with crypto profits. And in this video, this is another one of my videos where I'm going to be talking with a political commentator. So, I do regular videos with Tom Lubonga and also with Alexander Mercouris from the Duran. And I've done a little bit of political videos myself. And then within Mearnest, well, now I have a proper left-wing commentator to talk to. And you're going to find out what I mean by a proper left-wing, not these pseudo left-wingers.
Take the first step towards online privacy. Get NordVPN.
Get the Crypto.com Visa card. You can use this wherever Visa is accepted all over the world. Make sure you use my link to get a $25 bonus when you register. Link in the description below.
Hey, Garland, thank you so much for making yourself available.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're so welcome. I'm familiar with your work, and I refer to you as a proper left-winger. Do you want to say what you think I mean by that?
Well, and here's why I think it's important to have that discussion now. That's a discussion that's very important, because the issue has become, what does left mean anymore? The traditional, where's the term come from? Most people have no idea. It came from what? The French aristocracy in the 1700s, right? 1800s. What was it? It was literal. It was a literal metaphor. The people on the right side in the French parliament, the people that sat on the right side tended to support, not tended, but that was the nobility. They supported the monarchy. They supported the status quo. The people who literally sat on the left side were the people who tended to support the poor and wanted some level of change. That's what it was about. So the question becomes now, when we say someone's left, well, wait a minute. If Joe Biden and his team, they support the, effective monarchy, the nobility, which are now the oligarchs, the Bezoses and the et cetera, on and on, the name. So if they were in the French parliament, they'd be sitting on the right side, wouldn't they? So They wouldn't be sitting on the left side. So the issue of who's left, if we get to the original physical metaphor and we look at it that way, it doesn't have to be an insult or some kind of an accolade to be called right or left. It becomes this question: do you support a status quo that's not working for the average person? Do you support the nobility, the monarchy, or do you support change away from a status quo that's stripping every dime and every right away from the average working class, working poor, or poor citizen? And now we have, I'd like to add something to that, and I think this is critical because people are talking about the term fascism, right?
Oh, listen, before we get into that, I think that's really important, right? Because apparently standing for liberty and being anti-establishment makes you a fascist nowadays. She's right. Upside down. Do you just want to say a little bit about who you are?
Oh, sure. Certainly. So, it's interesting. I consider myself a lefty. I consider myself a far lefty, but in the traditional view of a person who supports the working class, the working poor, and the poor, who believe we're all in this boat together, and that oftentimes, we are separated by class. And the wealthy people, having had an opportunity in my life to, kind of hobnob with the very, very wealthy class, not that I'm one of them, but for a number of reasons, it became obvious to me that the wealthy and the super wealthy do not view the world through the same ideological terms that's presented to us. They view the world through class. They're all on the same team and looking out for each other. So I'm a lefty in the old school mode. I believe in human rights and people's rights, our rights against the government. I believe in minimal government intrusion into our rights and what we're allowed to do. Enough to, certainly we can't just all run in different directions like mice and, slam into each other and everybody goes, nobody stops for a green light or a red light. That's absurd. But, I tend to kind of start to align somewhat, not all the way, with libertarians at times when it comes to opposing government overreach and things of that nature.
Yep. And your background?
Well, but interestingly enough, so I'll give you about the 1 minute version, but I'll make it. Yeah, interestingly enough, I was born very poor, right? And then my dad became a longshoreman, hard hat wearing, good old fashioned work. Put on a hard hat, go to the docks and load ships. Made a good living, and provided a good living. My mother started a business from scratch, a school bus business, built it to the point where it did very well. So I went from very, very poor to, middle class, doing very, very reasonably well. But what I saw was hard work. What I saw was people who got up early in the morning in the cold and busted their butt to make a living. So I respect people who work hard, and I believe in a strong work ethic. But I also understand there are people who physically or for whatever reason don't have the same opportunity as others. And, I think that's something we have to take into account and not pretend that everybody has the same opportunity they don't, So that's why I tend to align with the working class, the working poor, and the poor. That's my background. I became a police officer well over 20 years. I rose through the ranks. When I retired, I was a police official. I was actually named by the governor of Maryland. I worked on committees and worked with the governor's staff. So I was a police official. I retired. I taught criminal justice at college for a while, and I was a salesperson for a while. And then I really got into journalism, and I really enjoy journalism and running my mouth. And I love to read. I love to read. One last thing that's interesting. There are a lot of people out there, especially if you're lefties, you might have heard of Paul Robeson. I don't know if you have. His son was my mentor for years. Paul Robeson Jr. was my mentor for many, many years. So I learned a lot from him.
Wow. Okay. And you're on Twitter and you're on YouTube.
Yes.
So be on Odyssey and Rumble, I hope. Right?
Yes. That's my move next. Well, I think we're all being pushed there. We better, if we're smart, be moving in that direction.
Yeah. And then if you're going to go over to Odyssey, you are going to learn about cryptocurrencies. That will happen.
Okay, I need to learn about it. I think it's critical now. I don't know. I know nothing about crypto, but based on what's going on with the Wall Street, London, Berlin, and Davos crew, I think that's the direction that a lot of things are going to take. And if you want any hope to maintain any of your own financial stability and independence, I think we're all going to have to go in that direction.
We are indeed, and you and I, if you want, we can have a separate conversation about. Right, but I want to keep this one about politics. Although there is a temptation to go into crypto. Right. Okay. So you were saying about fascism, about how the term fascism is used.
Yes, I think it's critical right now.